All right, now cutting across to the BJP government, the centre has now decided to take a U-turn on Rohingyas. After calling Rohingyas as illegal immigrants and calling them a threat to national security, the centre now has welcomed them, announcing to shift the Rohingya refugees to flats with basic amenities and facilities, and also giving them round-the-clock security in Delhi's Bakkarwala area. The decision was taken after a high-level meeting over the accommodation of Rohingya refugees in the national capital. Union Housing Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has hailed this decision, saying that India will follow the UN guidelines on refugees, and he's also informed that amenities will be given to those refugees as they will be moved into flats with basic amenities as well as police cover, security that will be provided to these refugees round the clock. The opposition has now slammed the government's U-turn on Rohingyas. AAP's Saurabh Bhardwaj has said that it was indeed the BJP who brought in the Rohingyas to India, and it is the BJP who now is helping them to settle in India. Remember, we saw massive protests that erupted over the Modi government's intention to implement the CAA, saying that many of the Muslims, especially the Rohingya Muslims who had infiltrated into the Indian borders over the many decades, will be marginalized and eventually will be troubled with the CAA's implementation. While the Modi government now, after calling the Rohingyas as a threat to national security, now have provided or have decided to provide permanent flats to many of those Rohingya Muslims. They will be moved to these apartments under the government special scheme, where basic amenities will be provided to them. And of course, Hardeep Singh Puri, the Union Minister, has said that India will follow UN's guidelines when it comes to helping refugees settle in the country. In fact, the Union Minister has also said that India never turns away those people who come to the country seeking refuge. Amit Bhardwaj joins us live for a little more on that. Amit, a quick word on the Modi government's U-turn. First, they called the Rohingya Muslims as a threat to national security and a burden, and that they've infiltrated and they should be moved out. But now they've decided to settle them permanently with apartments, basic amenities, and security for them. Hardeep Singh Puri says that India will follow the UN's guidelines when it comes to refugees. Of course, the opposition feasting on this. Tell us more.
Well, absolutely right, Nabila, but we also have to understand that, the government is one part, the party is the other part of it.
Yeah.
Now, we have seen that Bharatiya Janata Party has been really critical of the entire episode as far as the Rohingya refugees are concerned, and they had in fact attacked several political parties, including Aam Aadmi Party in the national capital, as well as Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress in West Bengal over the Rohingya issue, and had accused these parties of sheltering, harboring the Rohingya refugees in their respective states. And on the other side, right there you see Hardeep Singh Puri not only announcing that Rohingya refugees will be provided with EWS quota, economically weaker section quota flats, but they'll be also provided with UNHCR cards as well as Delhi police security. So clearly the government is also trying to show that we are giving dignity, residents with dignity, with protection in the national capital of the country, in the heart of India. So that is what the government is trying to send, a message that the government is trying to send across. And it is trying to score brownie points as far as international politics is concerned, trying to send out a message that India is standing with the UNHCR policies and the refugee policies accepted by the world. But on the other side, will this go down well with the ecosystem of the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Sangha Parivar? You have Aam Aadmi Party already attacking the government over this issue, saying that, it is the BJP who has settled down the Rohingya refugees in the national capital, who gave safe passage to Rohingya refugees in the national capital, and now are providing shelter to these people. And on the other side, let me tell you, Nabila, that even the several elements within the Sangha Parivar are at discomfort right now. They are not happy with the decision or the announcement made by Hardeep Singh Puri. And in fact, VHP, the Vishwa Hindu Party,
that's precisely what I was getting at. Amit Bhardwaj, do stay with us, and that's the big news that we're currently tracking. VHP, of course, jumping in to hit out at the union government.